A message that lands close home is, I am the only Bible that some people read. I hold it near and dear to my heart in terms of the fact of how God has had an impact on my life, how I wouldn't be where I am without him. And so many Christians say they attempt to live the life and things of that nature. However, when it comes to actually showing the fruits of the Spirit and loving people as Jesus loved the world and the church, everyone falls short, don't get me wrong, but they don't have those fruits. And for me, I do fall short every single day. However, when I think I am the only Bible that some people read, and if they read me and they see something that I have, some fulfillment that I have, and they see that, it sparks curiosity. Which, if I spark that curiosity in them and that leads them to Christ, that's fulfilling. So, some people call it a burden, I call it a privilege. And one of the reasons why I post on social media is for that facet as well, where do I want to be the most famous person on the planet? No, not really. I think that's a burden. However, that's also a privilege where I can help more people. Do I want to be stopped on the street? No, that would suck. However, that's the cost of me, let's say, helping more people, being put in the eyes of the public so that I can spread God's light through me. A quote that I heard, or a question that I heard at church today was, if your boss was asked about you, who you are as a person, who you are as a worker, what would they say? And the preacher said, oh, now everyone's gone quiet now, blah, blah, blah. But transparently, I can look back and say with 100% confidence that I've always portrayed being a Bible. Not to absolute perfection, of course not. However, I look back at even my 9 to 5 and going into work, asking everyone how their day is, and everyone's low, and I'm like, come on, we got breath in our lungs, let's crush to the day. Always having that higher frequency, always bringing joy, love, peace, patience into work. Also diligence, caring with the work that I do, bringing absolute intensity to being the absolute best clothes that I can possibly be. Because God doesn't only want us to have the fruits of the Spirit, but it's also being good at what we do. Not being lazy in our work, being the best in the field. And my sales manager at the moment, he knows that I'm the best on the team. Even if he doesn't say it, he knows it. And even if I'm not the best, I'm going to be the hardest worker when it comes to being my best. So all of that to say, if someone were to ask your family, your loved ones, your boss, your friends, or even you, about you, what would they say? And I think after reflecting on that, you can find some valuable things to grow, but then also to help yourself in terms of self-belief. Because I think that if someone asked everybody that I knew what stood out about me, they'd say 1, discipline and obsession, but then 2, maybe a bit of an ego. He's a bit confident. And I think that this is funny. I think that the hard work is a really good thing, but when it comes to the ego, I think you need to have a certain ego in order to have self-belief and confidence. But then there's a line where, well, Jesus didn't have an ego. And if Jesus didn't have an ego, why should I need to have an ego? Why do I think as a human that even though other humans who do very well, they have an ego, Jesus didn't, to the extent that we know. So why do I think I'm better than Jesus to the point where I need an ego? Why do I think that I'm wiser, smarter, that I need an ego? I shouldn't. Because if he didn't, I shouldn't. Therefore, via reflecting on people's opinions on what I think they think of me, because it's not about what you think about yourself, it's not about what others think about you, it's about what you think others think about you that's your true reality. And I think other people think that I'm extremely disciplined and obsessed in every facet of life, but also I have a bit of an ego. Whether that's positive or negative, confidence, it's their perception of it. But what I can take from that is, okay, well, I'll keep the obsession and the discipline and make sure it's under control in a healthy manner. And then with the ego standpoint, I can work on that. I can train being humble and live in that fruit, the fruit that God's got in my life. Awesome. All the best. God bless. Let's get it.